claims he can contact the great beyond and communicate with the dead. But in his new book, Practical Praying, Using the Rosary to Enhance Your Life, he says the power to change your life is in your own hands. Please welcome John Edward. Nice to see you, John. We were talking earlier about Terry Schiavo, who has been now 10 days without food or any liquid. I mean, the feeding tube is gone. And you have said that you believe she is totally aware of everything that is going on right now. Why do you believe that?
Because I believe in that consciousness can survive outside the physical body. So even though physiologically she might not be able to respond, I believe that on a spiritual level, her consciousness would know exactly what's going on. But it doesn't, I mean, I have a whole bunch of views as far as like whether, I agree with you that there's a legal issue, there's a family issue.
Right.
But if that's true, then they should really let her go, because that could be very painful for the girl.
Well, that brings up,
if that's true.
But it brings up free will, and it brings up, you know, a whole
Would you want to be kept in that state?
Absolutely not. I got it all covered. It's like, you know, because if we left up my wife, she'd like plug me in forever, and I'm
like. But if
like,
the consciousness is there, maybe you would want to. So it brings up the other side as well.
Well, that's just it. She said to me, my wife said to me, well, what about your son? She said, what, you want your son to have a place to come and see you? And I went, no, not like that. And she said, well, what, you want to see your son? I said, I would be able to see my son. I know that I'd be able to see my son, but I wouldn't want to have that kind of, I wouldn't want to be in the physiological prison. Doesn't mean that I necessarily agree with where this is going on.
Can they talk, your family be able to talk to you when you're dead, like you talk to others?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
If they would find the right, you know, the right person to do it, or more importantly, that they were open to the signs that I'd be able to communicate.
Who would they find the right person? Who would they find?
Well, I think that there are a number of mediums. So, you know, I'm not the only person that does it. So a lot of people around the world that do this type of work legitimately. And my whole thing is, you know, with what I like to teach is that you don't need a medium. If you pay attention to the signs and symbols and the energy that's around you, I think every person in this audience has had an experience, possibly a dream of their loved one or whatever. Not every dream is a connection, but I think we make our own connections.
I want to talk about your book, Practical Praying, Living the Rosary to Enhance Your Life, or using, the Rosary to enhance your life. You say that by doing those things that you can actually get control of your life, but you're a psychic medium, so doesn't this go against actually what Catholics would believe?
You know, that was a major dilemma, a moral, like a religious dilemma that I faced when I first got involved with this work. And on the same day, I had a nun, Catholic nun, and a Catholic priest come to me for a private session. And the nun came in like full, like nunnery.
So a nun came to ask you to talk to somebody?
My family, yeah. And I remember
You've been reading a different Bible.
She sat down in my office, and I ran into when I called my wife, and I was like, there's a nun here. And she's like, yeah. I said, what did I do? She's like, why is she there? I said, for a reading. She goes, well, then why are you calling me? Go read her. And I did, and it was an amazing experience for me because I worked with her.
What if you told her a relative went to hell? She'd flip out.
I worked with her for a number of years afterwards. She led grief groups. And she saw that a lot of her people that were in her group were going for sessions, and she wanted to make sure that they weren't being taken advantage of. And that's why the priest came as well, because they knew that this was like an adjunct to some type of spiritual therapy, and it was helping people.
Well, you know, it's really interesting because the researchers here, they put some of your thoughts on religion. I know that you were Catholic, but you don't attend Mass. You don't read the Bible. You don't really believe in the Bible. Is that correct?
Not totally.
Catholics don't go for the Bible as much. We had the Missal. It was not a Bible, really, that I ever grew up with. The first Bible I ever saw was in a hotel.
That's true.
The basis of Christianity is the Bible, but I'm not even going to get it.
The Catholics, I'm telling you, they don't push the Bible. It's the Missal.
That's interesting. I tell people all the time, like, my grandmother dragged me to church. I went to Mass every day, every single day until I was in first grade.
So why do you believe in the power of the Rosary then?
And the power of prayer.
I've been that way since I was a kid. I was very, very touched and moved by prayer in church. I really wasn't, no, I hate to say this, but it's true. I didn't really feel the need to listen to what the priest was like telling me that I should or should not be doing. I kind of found my own way spiritually, but like my son will go through the entire thing that I went through, and he will go through, you know, the Catholicism.
So you gonna make him go through it?
Absolutely.
You don't believe in it?
No, I do believe in the tenets of religion and having an organized faith, whether it be whatever the religion is. I don't care. To me, I want him to have a strong belief system, a good faith in God, and use that as his road. And if the frame that he frames his life in is a Catholic frame, so be it. If he chooses to become Protestant or Lutheran or Jewish, I don't really care, as long as he has a strong faith in God.
You need the organized frame to have a strong faith in God. I'm not sure.
What if he doesn't believe in God? What will you feel then?
Deep remorse in doing my job.
As a parent?
As a parent.
Because you think that providing a faith-based growing up is important as a parent.
Absolutely. I mean,
But you also encourage him to be a free thinker, so that may be where he ends up. You just never know. I want to ask you, when you talk about your ability as a psychic medium to actually speak to those who are dead, when you connect, when the connection comes through, what are you seeing? When you talk about seeing things, how do you see things?
It's like having a daydream, and I'm really just relaying. The way we would have a dream at night, I'm having that while I'm up. And whatever I'm seeing, hearing, and feeling, I'm reacting to and interpreting. And sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong, and that's why I tell people, write down the things that make the least amount of sense, because sometimes it's my misinterpretation, or things haven't happened yet, sometimes they'll happen in the future. But it's usually to validate that there is a survival of consciousness.
So if somebody from our lives that has passed on was trying to communicate with us right now, you would have a sense of it. Just sitting here, you would notice that you would get some energy.
If that energy chose to try to connect, yeah, absolutely. If I was open to it.
So no one wants to talk to us.
Could you do it through email? I don't know. What if you could do it through email? I don't know.
This is a new field, whole field here.
Yeah,
Well, it's all very fascinating. Our thanks to you. Thank you for joining us. John Edward, everyone, and everyone in our audience is getting a copy of his book, Practical Players.